It's the hatless duo up here, Marcellus Wiley, my man Emmanuel Acho.
Hey, hatless but a fresh cut. Yeah. Okay, so we here.
Oh, that's a fresh cut?
That's a fresh one. That's a fresh one.
Where?
Here.
Oh, okay. Not up there, right?
Not up top. It's the side. It's the side.
Well, when they cut that grass up there. All right, we're here for the next 2 hours. Acho may bust out of his suit. They're getting tighter by the day, so let's get it started with the NBA Finals, which tip off tonight in Game 1 between the Heat and Lakers. One big storyline in the series will be LeBron's quest for a fourth ring. He's about to play in his 10th Finals, but one mark against his resume is he's 3-6. We all know the other player in the GOAT conversation, Michael Jordan, was a perfect 6 for 6. So, Acho, will the Finals loss disqualify LeBron from the GOAT conversation?
As a LeBron stan, as a LeBron super fan, where LeBron goes, I go. Where he stays, I stay.
You in Brentwood, too? That's where you move?
It has limitations. But, yes, absolutely, beyond the shadow of a doubt, a loss would disqualify, DQ LeBron James from the GOAT conversation.
Can we breathe? I don't want to interrupt you. You really mean that? Say it again. I know this is broadcasted. I know that we got produced.
A loss would DQ and disqualify.
It's over for LeBron if he loses.
Here is why. It's over, but here's why. Because, Marcellus, I'm in the barbershop, so I understand these conversations. True. I read a book called The Art of War, and in The Art of War, it talks about the best way to win a battle, to win an argument, if you will, is to know your opponent's strategy, their plan of attack. I know Jordan fans' strategies. I know the Jordan fans' plan of attack. And Jordan fans' strategy and their plan of attack is very simple. Jordan was 6 for 6 in NBA Finals. Jordan didn't play in any Game 7s. That's their plan of attack, Marcellus. That is the strategy. But peep this, because Jordan fans, they have an argument. Jordan played in 37 playoff series. Okay. In 36, he was the leading scorer for both teams in that series.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Jordan played 179 playoff games. He was the outright scoring leader in 165. That is their plan of attack. That is Jordan fans' plan of attack. The only mark of weakness for LeBron, the only one, is NBA Finals
record.
He's 3 right now out of 9. If he goes 3 out of 10, he's DQ'd. In my first lap, I'm going to show you something and show you why LeBron James, if he wins and continues to win, it's not even a conversation. It's not GOATs, Marcellus. It's GOAT, singular. Greatest of all time. Not greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. Okay. Holla at me with this full screen, please.
Full screen, Prince.
GOAT or GOATs? If LeBron James handles his business and wins these chips, it's over and done with. He has more playoff points for his career, more playoff rebounds for his career, not close, more assists, not even close. Everything LeBron does is done in a surplus of Michael Jordan in the playoffs, except winning titles. Marcellus, I hate to say it, but you got to keep it real. We got to keep it a buck because that's what we do on this show. If LeBron takes an L in the finals, he's eliminated, disqualified from the conversation, because I know what these Jordan fans is going to do.
Yeah, I am going to wholeheartedly disagree with that.
Please do.
I cannot believe that you're going to do that to LeBron James in terms of the perspective you need to even make the assessment of who really is the GOAT. My first pushback is you can't show numbers like that because I hear everyone saying, well, LeBron played more games and more years, so of course he's going to have cumulative more stats.
Of course.
So that's not even going to help LeBron or disqualify LeBron. But let me get to my argument because I've already framed my argument. It's perfection versus a death by 1,000 paper cuts. LeBron's the boa constrictor. LeBron's going to have to just slice up Jordan till he just bleeds slowly and finally that LeBron is the GOAT. But how can he do that? Well, first of all, I've been in that same barbershop as you, a lot earlier than you, and not as recent as you. But I remember the bootleg man used to come in there with the videos, with the movies, right?
With them DVDs. Hey. Buy these 10 for $5. You said, how do you have that DVD? The movie is not out yet.
Okay, let me date myself. I remember when he had tapes. VHS was up in that thing. Let me tell you why that's important. Because we're watching 2 different movies. One we already seen through its entirety.
Correct.
Blockbuster.
Yep.
Perfect movie. I'm talking about, whoa. And then after you've seen it, It lives in folklore, and you tell all your friends, everybody coming to the barbershop, have you seen Jordan movie? Have you seen Jordan movie? All of those things. And then the machinery of Michael Jordan kicked in. Nike and his royalty deal with Jordan brand. He makes $100 million every year minimum just off of his brand, his likeness, who he is. That movie not only finished, but continues to live in our minds because of that machinery. LeBron, the movie ain't even done filming yet.
True.
LeBron is still on set. He probably here on the Fox lot right now with a mask on. Still filming the damn movie. But people like you want to already push back before the movie's over and say that there's no way that could be a blockbuster.
Bear in mind, you and I are standing on the same side of the fence. We just fighting with different weaponry.
Okay.
Here's what I mean. I don't think it will be death by 1,000 cuts for LeBron if he wins 5 or 6 chips. It's over and done with. It's not a GOAT conversation. He is the GOAT. Because here's the only argument. If LeBron has 6 total chips, then what's your argument for Jordan? He went 6 for 6. Okay, that just means he ain't go to as many as LeBron. If Jordan would have went to 12, he might not have gone 12 for 12. But so that's what I would say.
You're at 9 appearances going to your 10th.
Yep.
And you have 3. You're trying to make an argument, well, if he gets 6, it took him 10 trips to get to 3 or 4.
That is
You're
true.
trying to already say he gonna get the 6?
What I'm saying
is too much acreage in front of you.
That's a lot to ask. That's a lot to ask for. That's a lot to ask for. I'm just saying I don't want it to be a conversation. As a LeBron guy, I don't even want it to be a conversation. But let me get to my point, because this is the point that I'm really thinking about here.
I've been waiting.
If you commit a crime, Marcellus, of a specific action, then you go on probation for that specific crime. Here's what I mean by that. LeBron James has committed the crime of falling short in NBA Finals. If I get a speeding ticket, I go on probation for speeding tickets. If I speed again, my license will get revoked. That doesn't mean I'm not allowed to jaywalk. That doesn't mean I'm not allowed to commit other crimes. What that means is if I speed again, then I will get my license revoked. If LeBron loses a finals again, he will get that GOAT status revoked. That doesn't mean he needs to be all defensive first team. Doesn't mean he needs to lead the NBA in scoring. Doesn't means he needs to get another all-star NBA MVP. But he can't commit that same crime of losing another finals because he's already on probation for that. The world has already said, hey, Bron, you keep losing these finals now. That's one more strike. That's the problem. So that's where I fall in this.
That's not the problem. You forget that what you're trying to say that he is criminally convicted of is actually what was his invitation to the GOAT conversation in the first place. We took him in knowing that he already had committed the crimes of being in 9 finals and only winning 3. But how can you now use that against him? Let me be real to you.
Talk to me.
Because we all went to math class, and this was like the first math class we went to. When you start to learn that, okay, 3 out of 9, that's kind of easy. 33%.
Facts.
What is 3 out of 10 if he loses?
30.
Okay, Acho, you got 33 cents right now. I was like, hey, big dog, come here, man. I need 3 pennies. Is that gonna hurt you? Is that gonna really affect your life? Or let's take it into the other thing, because y'all know you're a millionaire big time now. You know, your brother lied against you in your playing career. You got money now. If you had $33 million and you had to write a $3 million check, actually, you will have to if you pay your taxes. Guess what? It ain't changing your life. There's nowhere where 33 to 30 in any increment is life-changing. But I don't understand why you try to make it GOAT-changing.
I like where your head is at.
Like it, the
problem, though, is, Marcellus, we can't sit here and say LeBron's finals record is so bad already that it can't get worse. Like, that's the argument that we're kind of taking, you feel me?
He go down to like 10 cents or a nickel, then we got a problem, 5 and 10%. But the point is, you can't disqualify a guy that you already invited into a conversation at a 33% win rate when he potentially could drop to 30%. That is not a line of demarcation.
Did we invite LeBron into the GOAT conversation because of his finals record or appearances? I don't think that's it. I think we invited LeBron into the GOAT conversation because he has supreme excellence among every category. Availability, check. That's the biggest thing. The best ability, availability. Sustainability, sustained excellence, check. Okay. Greatness over all categories. Rebounds, assists, points, team, everything. Check, check, check. That's why he's in the GOAT conversation. I don't know if he's in the GOAT conversation because he went to 8 straight finals. That's incredibly impressive, obviously. But I don't think that's what put him in the conversation. What put him in the conversation is 16-time All-Star, 16-time All-NBA. I think it is sustained excellence. I don't know if it has to do with he got invited because of the finals appearances, so he can't be uninvited because of a finals appearance.
I don't know if you're 3rd all-time, tied with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar bar and just the opportunity to win the championship, that gets you the invitation as well. Let's bring in someone who knows a thing or two about basketball, Fox NBA analyst Slick Rick the Buker. So, Slick, will the finals loss disqualify LeBron from the GOAT conversation?
It would only disqualify him if you are saying that this is his last best chance of winning a championship. Acho, my guess is that when you were a DB, that your first step had to be the right step. If you took the first step wrong, you were done. You were cooked on that play. There was no recovering from it.
As an LB, I look a little slimmer now, but I was an LB. You know, I was a linebacker, Slick.
You know,
I'm tracking with you. I'm tracking with you.
Let me say, in coverage.
Yes, correct.
There you go.
You just took the first wrong step when it comes to this argument, because titles do not work in any way for LeBron James in the argument for being the greatest of all time. In that, if you are going to make it all about titles, then, yes, you not only have Jordan in the conversation, but you have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the conversation with 6. You have Bill Russell with 11. So it can't be about the number of titles that he ultimately has, no matter what his finals record is. And you keep talking about, well, if he gets 4, 5, 6, he's never had a three-peat. He's never had 2 in a row at 26, 27, 28 years old. So now you're telling me at 35, 36, 37, 38, he's going to win 3 out of 4? It defies logic that he's going to get more. This is, in my opinion, his last best chance. It's remarkable that he's even got this team to this point. But I can't discount the possibility that, as unlikely as it may seem, that they run it back and whatever went wrong against the Miami Heat in the bubble, that they're able to correct that and he's able to get one next year. And this is the key. This is the only way that titles becomes a plus for LeBron James in the greatest of all time conversation, which is if he wins 3 with 3 different franchises. No player in the GOAT conversation has done that. That's the only way titles become something that verifies or gives LeBron James credit as being the greatest of all time. Other than that, all the percentages, as Marcellus noted, he's losing on that. He's got to go in other directions.
Well, Slick, just to clarify, he did go back-to-back in Miami. Remember, they lost the first one back-to-back and then lost that. So I know it doesn't really change the context of your argument.
It's not a three-peat, though.
But it's not a three-peat.
No, not three-peat.
But here's where I disagree with you, Slick. I can't entertain the people that start to bring in names into the conversation that shouldn't be there. Oh, well, Robert Horry, he has 6 chips.
I didn't say Robert Horry.
Well, he said Kareem. What name you about to say that?
Yeah, exactly. I said Kareem and I said Bill Russell.
There's some people that are in the conversation that if we want to bring Bill Russell into the conversation with his 11, now the whole conversation just gets distracted. I'm the type of guy that likes to focus on the legitimacy of the conversation. Bring in Kareem and bring in Jordan and bring in LeBron.
How many chairs in your barbershop? You only got like 2 chairs.
Marcel, I'm not arguing with...
There's some old man over there mad at you right now.
I'm not arguing with the 80-year-old cat who walks into the barbershop with the cane with the... Hey, bring Bill Russell back in that conversation. Now, you don't remember what Bill Russell doing back in the 1968. I'm not engaging in that debate, Slick.
That's what you're doing.
Well, I will say this, like, being real about this, the 33% where you can now lose and go to 30% is not a disqualifier. I already stated that in my first lap. The other thing about this is you have to respect Acho, and we haven't talked about this. Why is LeBron in the GOAT conversation and won't be disqualified even if he loses this one? It's because Michael Jordan told us so. And when did Michael Jordan tell us so? You remember Michael Jordan, who kept it down the middle when he played. Republicans buy sneakers, too. Never stepped into any of the social issues or political issues. He just kept it focused on basketball. Then we kind of started to hear things about him in terms of gambling and him just, like, enjoy himself away from the court and playing golf. That's it. But we didn't know much about Michael Jordan. And then one day, and I'm going to tell you what day it was, one day Michael Jordan said, let me let these people know about me. And you know what day that was? The exact day it was? The day that the Cleveland Cavaliers had their championship parade from LeBron James bringing the team back from a 3-1 deficit and LeBron James stating that he was the GOAT. So the GOAT in everyone's mind all of a sudden woke up and said, that guy's the GOAT, and LeBron James has done nothing to disqualify himself from that conversation. So that's why LeBron James is still in this GOAT conversation, because the GOAT or the other guy already introduced him to it.
I have an issue. Let me go back to Slick. I got an issue.
Oh.
I have issues, but I have the issue with Slick is, Slick, when we're talking about this conversation, we're talking about the conversation of, one, skill is what has LeBron James and Michael Jordan in that conversation. It's not just a conversation about chips. Otherwise, that conversation gets convoluted. It's a conversation about skill. We all can look at the tape and look at the numbers across the board and say, this is a conversation between Jordan, between LeBron, between Kareem, if you will, between Magic, if you will, between Kobe, if you will. But I really want this conversation to be about the two dogs at the top, LeBron and Jordan.
Okay.
And if it is about those two, the only thing then and therefore that LeBron does not have over Jordan is titles. Now, you can simply say, because I hate when people say they try to pick stats to make somebody be able to compare to somebody else. No. LeBron and Jordan are in the conversation. The only thing Jordan has is titles, which is why I am therefore making it a title conversation. If LeBron gets up there to 4, 5, or 6, but really, honestly, just 5, it's not even a conversation anymore. It's over and done with. LeBron has the same amount of titles as you, Jordan. What else you want to get on me? Oh, you have more all defensive teams. Oh, you have more finals MVPs. Yep. Oh, you have more NBA MVPs.
That matters. I mean.
Look, here's the thing. This is what disappoints me, Acho. There are so many situations where you're Catherine Zeta-Jones in Entrapment, and Marcellus with his Wileyisms is all those laser beams, and you find a way to navigate your way through them and get to your point without being burned by them. And now you're saying, I'm just answering the question. Would a finals loss disqualify him? Doesn't have anything to do about stats or anything else. Has to do about titles. So on one hand, you are saying that you don't want it to be all about titles, but you're saying that if he doesn't win this title, then he's automatically disqualified.
Yes.
I don't get that argument.
You are getting double teamed by 2 Ivy Leaguers. Destroy him.
And the problem is, Ivy League exists off reputation alone, no substance. Here's the problem with you 2 Ivy Leaguers is this. You know what they say? It's harder to get into the Ivy League than stay in the Ivy League. Okay? Y'all got there, but it was easy to stay there because they don't truly test y'all's education once y'all arrive. So let me test y'all's education. Now it's all arrived on this show.
UT was the Harvard of the Southwest, by the way.
He caught there.
I'm dodging these. I'm dodging these low blows, and I'm staying on track.
Okay.
Here's what it is for me, Slick. You can't really get into a debate. If LeBron is 3 for 10, and you're in a debate with a Jordan head, it's very simple. 6 for 6 in the finals, no finals MVPs. But LeBron has more. 6 and 6 in the finals, no finals MVP. Wait, but LeBron has more. 6 or 6 in the finals, and not no finals MVPs, and no game 7s. 6 was you're going to keep arguing because I've been in these debates till I'm blue in the face. But LeBron, and you can't continue.
You can't let them get you because Jordan already told you LeBron's in this debate even when he was 3 and 6, even when he was 3 and 5.
Marcellus,
and you're trying to now say he's going to lose because 3 and 9 is different. 3 and 6 is so much worse than 3 and 7.
It's not necessarily what Jordan says. Here's why. Think about all the times with humility, you're like, no, man. That dude can ball too. When you playing in the league at defensive end, no, that dude got game. In your head, you're like, that dude on the same level as me. But I'm going to show at least a little bit of humility in this moment. He got game too. But in your head, you're like, man, that dude can't touch me. Of course, Jordan's not going to be like, nah, LeBron, sorry, he don't even belong in the conversation. That's not what he's going to do.
No, I'm going to tell you what I would feel. If there was ever a moment where people started to say Marcellus looks like the greatest defensive end of all time, or Reggie White, rest in peace, or Bruce Smith would have just came out of their slumber and made a documentary to highlight how they were the greatest defensive end of all time, I would be like, got him, because that's why he did it. And let me be real about this. The reason he greenlit The Last Dance the day of that championship parade is because LeBron said, I am the GOAT. So all I'm telling you, Acho, next time you go to the barbershop and they start shooting at you with the laser beams, this is a 12-round fight. LeBron is not going to knock Jordan out, but he has to win on the scorecard. And last time I checked, all you have to do is win more rounds than not every single round.
And I'm saying he can knock him out with 6.
No.
Right, he can knock him out with 6, Marcel.
6, and he at halfway right now in a 17-year career.
In 12 days, he's going to be at 4.
We'll see. Coming up at the top
you know what?
of the
You could win this argument, Acho, if we spend another hour on it. Maybe. It's unlikely.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, but maybe. That's a possibility. But the reality is there's not going to be an hour left to debate this, and LeBron doesn't have time to win 3 more championships. The idea that he's going to match Jordan in titles is not realistic. So if it's about titles, it suddenly isn't Jordan versus LeBron. The only argument that LeBron has are the multitude of statistics, and I can dismiss those because the game is so different. You guys keep talking about The Last Dance as being an infomercial, and I don't disagree with that in terms of Jordan wanted to demonstrate and remind everyone who he was and what he did. But what it illustrated to me was how different the game was back then and why the numbers, the pure numbers, don't relate. Because you had games in the 80s consistently, and now you have games 100+ consistently. And yes, being a 9-time Defensive Player of the Year first team versus a 5-time Defensive Player of the Year first team, Jordan versus LeBron, that matters. More MVP titles, that matters. Like, those are the things that I can weigh and compare that go beyond the stats because it's what they did in the time that they were in the league.
Now, that was a 12-round fight right there.
Come with me to the barbershop.
All right, Texas Endowment, please spend some money on your education. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, Dak Prescott leads the league in passing yards. But we'll tell you if it's enough to make up for Dallas's poor defense. But first, Dak will face off against Baker Mayfield Sunday. Oh, that's going to be fun. We'll tell you which quarterback is under more pressure this weekend. Next, speak for yourself. Ding, 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 ding.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Let's get into the tale of 2 quarterbacks. That's Baker Mayfield and Dak Prescott. They'll face each other in Dallas on Sunday on Fox. Baker's Browns are 2-1, but some have said the third-year QB has played well, but not spectacular this season. While Dak leads the league in passing yards, but his Cowboys are only 1-2. So Marcellus, it's time to dive into the details. Who is under more pressure Sunday? Dak Prescott, the great Dak Prescott.
There you go. Respect his name.
Or Baker Mayfield.
You know it's Baker Mayfield. You're a former #1 overall pick, and you're going against Dak Prescott. And Dak's not a #1 overall pick. And Dak is in the conversation of having people talk about, is he a franchise quarterback or is he an elite quarterback, as Acho wants to put him in that category and then take him out of that category. But that's his range, right? Correct? He is on the franchise tag. Guess what that means? What that means? He's a franchise quarterback. Shut up. So now only thing left for him is to be an elite quarterback. It's an elite quarterback. Where's Baker Mayfield's range? Let's talk about that right now. Is he still a starter, or is he going to go down to game manager, or what's our future with him? A lot lower range when you talk about him. Dak Prescott is just paying for how much you're going to pay me. And you know it's minimum $35 million because you already offered me $35 million. Baker Mayfield's playing for his job. Forget how much he's going to make going forward. Are they even at least going to pick up his option going forward? That's the difference. So Baker Mayfield, who's already marginalized the only rock star the NFL had, and Odell Beckham Jr. Odell was our only rock star. We had MVPs, yeah. We had guys that were tremendous on the field, yeah. We never had a rock star like Odell Beckham. Now, if he catches 40, 50 yards a game, that's an amazing game. That's how low the standards are for a Baker Mayfield-led team. That's why he's under pressure, to show him what's going forward.
Exactly what you said, Marcellus, is the exact reason you're wrong. But I don't know what's frustrating me more, the semantics or just the antics.
Franchise tag is semantics?
No, here's exactly why you're incorrect. Baker Mayfield is playing with house money. When I was in Philadelphia, you stroll into a casino, and you go in there, and you get some more money, and you get money because you won. So you got money that's the casino's, not just your own. Baker Mayfield right now, he's playing with money that's not necessarily his. The Browns are 2-1, Marcellus. First time to be over 500 in 85 games. The Browns are above 500 for the first time in 85 games. Think about the hype, the high that they're on. They're already where they're not supposed to be. The Browns are playing with what is supposed to be a bottom 5, bottom 8 quarterback. The Cowboys are playing with what is a top 5, top 8 quarterback. Expectations, they yield pressure.
And you think the expectations are that different? We cannot get the money out of a ¡1 overall pick?
Because the Browns have already said, that's spilled milk. But Baker Mayfield,
how many times
is
spilled the milk?
They've spilled it.
How many times are they going to clean it up?
Whatever they can get out of Baker right now, kudos. But you really think the Browns are still all in on Baker? They could have picked up Baker's 5th-round option. They can do that.
Yeah,
They probably the first-round option, 5th-year option, first-round option. Yeah. They could have done that, but they're just kind of like, let's wait and see. Dak has already, boom, been tagged. Here's the problem, though, Marcellus.
I don't get that.
If the Browns win, headline news. Browns upset Cowboys. Baker outperforms Dak. But if the Browns lose, it's just another Sunday. It's just Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys lose, we're leading with that. Cowboys win, good, they beat the Browns. Congratulations.
But the perception is not reality, and you're getting caught up in the hype. And it's amazing that Baker Mayfield, 2-1. Oh, my God, you're amazing. Good job. Cleveland Browns haven't been there in so long. But are we winning because of you, or are we winning in spite of you? And if you're a former #1 overall pick, it shouldn't be the latter. And that's the situation right now. It is the latter. You went to a big program, and it's funny, when I went to the combines, I was amazed at how many people hid behind their programs. I mean, because in the combines, it's like, look, I saw your film. I saw how many games y'all won. But why you can't bench press 225 5 times? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I was like, oh, he was hiding behind the program.
That's fair.
Baker Mayfield, you can't hide behind this 2-1 record, because I'm going like this. I'm the coach that says, team meeting, everybody. We 2-1, pop champagne. Hey, Baker, come here. We got to have an individual player meeting. And in that player meeting, when your coach is looking at an evaluation of you, Dak Prescott is going consecutive weeks of setting career passing yardage records. He's in consecutive weeks of setting Dallas Cowboys records. But now you're going to say, no, Baker Mayfield, who's still playing for his job, isn't under more pressure?
Marcellus, you
playing
can't.
For his job.
You shouldn't have walked down that trap. I feel bad for you, because now you got to go. Marcellus, top 5 passing quarterbacks last year by yardage. Dak Prescott didn't make the playoffs. Jameis Winston didn't make the playoffs. Phillip Rivers didn't make the playoffs. Jared Goff didn't make the playoffs. Matt Ryan didn't make the playoffs. So by you are using the argument, and not just you, Cowboys fans around the world, using this argument that, oh, well, Dak Prescott is a top passer. There is actually a direct correlation between passing yardage and lack of playoffs. A direct correlation. So don't come to me, Marcel. Yeah, sure, 1 year, but a 5K study sample size. Hold on. So don't come to me with this fight talking about, well, Dak Prescott is passing for all of these yards, so how can Dak Prescott be any part to blame, or Dak Prescott, his expectations should be lower? Marcellus, there's a direct correlation between passing yardage and lack of making the playoffs. Dak outpassed Russell Wilson on Sunday, did he not? 472 yards to 315. But one quarterback got 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, one had 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
This is lazy. This is really lazy.
No,
this is really lazy. You're going yardage and then trying to say, well, if you got a lot of yards, it's not helping your cause in terms of winning. But just the year before, when we saw the Patriots, Chiefs, Rams, and Saints as our Final 4 teams, I wonder if they all got great quarterbacks or good quarterbacks.
I didn't say great or good quarterbacks. That's not what I said.
But this is my point.
That's not what I said.
That's my point. Dak is either good to you or great to me. But he has not only a job, but an opportunity to get paid. Baker Mayfield is not good or great. And going forward, he doesn't know if he has a job. So that's called pressure.
No.
Can you pay the bills with your talent? You can't.
To your point, if you were already saying, you just said Dak Prescott is great, and you just said Baker Mayfield is not good or great. Dak Prescott to you is here, Baker is here. So how in God's name can Baker, the person who is not good, nor great, but let's just focus on the adjective of good. How can the person who is not good be under more pressure than the person who is great?
Right here. Because that's an enlightening process. We just came to that revelation maybe last year, but we have now said, verdict right now, you're not good or great. And that's a problem. That's going to reset our course going forward because we were betting on you. Dak Prescott is in a situation where if you evaluate him, you're playing amazing at the position. Guess who's not? Ezekiel Elliott has never started a season with 3 games without 100 yards, but he did this year. We're looking at the offensive line. It's porous. It's injured. It's overhyped. Looking at the defense. The defense is now, what, 30th in scoring defense, 25th in yards, and this was supposed to be a top 10 defense. At least it was a couple years ago. The point is, Dak Prescott is the only reason why they're in a... Go. What else on this team outside of the passing game is doing anything? Go.
Well, you've acquired all of your action. You've put all of your energy into the passing game. So you can't...
Really? They didn't sign Zeke? They didn't sign linemen?
$100 million.
They didn't sign defensive players?
$100 million to Amari Cooper. A first-round pick on CeeDee Lamb. A third-round pick on Michael Gallup. Like, you've invested...
Marcus Lawrence making $100 million.
You've invested all your money, a lot of your money, into the receiving core.
Defensively as well. All I'm saying is, Dak Prescott has them in a situation where they're still tied for first. And Dak Prescott's the only one, when you walk around that team, you're saying, you know what? I'm looking at him like he's living up to the name. Is Zeke living up to his name?
Fair.
Is the defense living up to the name?
Let me ask you this. Let's say this, because I believe this. A player is a reflection of his coach, and I believe to a degree that a team is a reflection of their quarterback.
Okay.
A player is a reflection of their coach. A team is a reflection of their quarterback. If the Cowboys lose to the Browns, and they start off 1-3, right? Cowboys start off 1-3. They've lost to the Browns, to the Seahawks, to the Rams.
Are they still in the NFC lease?
Yeah, still in the league.
It ain't gonna matter then.
Sure, okay, but let me ask you this. As I look around the league, how many quarterbacks wouldn't have the Cowboys 1-3 with that same record?
Wait, real quick. Okay.
Let's digest this. No, let's digest this. If the Cowboys, because you're smart. If the Cowboys start off 1-3, who in the NFL couldn't take that Cowboys team to 1-3? The only person is maybe Baker Mayfield. That's the only person.
You know what? I'm smart. I'm smart enough to stay in my lane, which is using Dak against Dak, which is his passing yardage, which is how he's playing. I use that against him. I don't use hypotheticals. Well, if I put Brady there, what would happen? If I put Baker, that's not being smart. That's actually dumb to me because you will never get the answer to that. Right now, Dak is looking around at guys who are highly paid and certainly highly touted. And they're not living up to it. But since Dak is in a contract negotiation, we want to use all of the ills and woes of the Cowboys against Dak when Dak is the sole reason, if not largely responsible, lion's share of why this team is in it in the first place. You just got to respect that.
The reason I don't is because I feel like that's a lazy take. Not from you, from the world. Here's why. Everybody, you play on defense, I played on defense. Everybody thinks that for whatever reason, the games, they occur in incubated and isolated scenarios. Special teams only affect special teams. Offense only affects offense. Defense only affects defense. That is not how it works. The offense for the Cowboys, it does affect the defense. Does the offense give up a 60-yard deep ball to DK Metcalf? No. But the offense does yield field position. If you start inside your own 5, there's a 7% chance you score a touchdown. If you start inside your own 10, there's like a 20% chance you score a touchdown. The offense helps dictate the success of the defense. Look no further than the Packers and the Saints on Monday night, Sunday night, whenever the heck that game was played. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't eat up the clock, the Saints get the ball back. Saints have another opportunity to score. Now the Packers allow more defensive points. Look at last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jameis Winston, his offense directly affected the defense. We can't just look at the Cowboys defense, Marcellus, and say, oh, Dak Prescott's not at fault. He leads the league in passing. By the way, he also leads the league in passing freaking attempts. Yes, he leads the league in yards. We can't do that. The game is played collectively, cohesively. Okay. So Dak deserves a little bit of question. Just a little bit. He has a ton of yards. I'm happy for him. Russell Wilson didn't have many yards, and Russell Wilson outplayed him. Dak deserves a little bit of questioned.
No, I'm going to leave defense alone because we're going to talk about the Cowboys.
Please leave them alone.
And let's just stay offensively. Where I see Aaron Rodgers is at 65% of his offense's production. Where I see Patrick Mahomes is at 70% of his offense's production. Where I see Dak at 83% of his offensive production. But you say he has help. The numbers don't suggest that. Well, coming up, Carson Wentz is struggling, but his team still has his back. We'll tell you if we're really buying all the brotherly love in Philly. Next, Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Let's talk about the Eagles, who are still winless after tying the Bengals last week. A lot of the criticism has fallen on Carson Wentz, who is tied for the league lead with 6 interceptions. Despite calls for Doug Peterson to bench his quarterback, he said, quote, "Carson's our quarterback." And defensive tackle Fletcher Cox says the team is still behind Wentz. Listen.
I mean, he's our quarterback, and we got his back. And I'll let that be known. He's our quarterback, and, just go over there and you just talk to him and keep him up and let him know, hey, man, we got your back. You just say strong words and you just stay positive the whole time. And just by saying little words like that, that help people. That keep their mind clear. And I just went over there and said, hey, man, we got your back, buddy. Just be ready to go again. That's all. It wasn't nothing special.
So I'll tell you, buying the Eagles supporter Carson Wentz.
Man, I am. I'm buying it because it's real.
It's real?
It's real.
You know.
Because the Eagles have been here before. I'm glad you asked. You just threw me the alley-oop, so let me go ahead and dunk it.
Yeah,
on your head. I'm buying it because it's real, Marcellus.
Let's go.
Last year, the Eagles started off 5-7.
Okay.
Still made the playoffs. 2018, the Eagles started off 4-6. Still made the playoffs.
Cool.
The
Easy.
Eagles are not good at being front runners. They're just not.
Okay.
Like, the city's not like that. The city's not bougie like other cities where I grew up, like Dallas. The city's a little grimy. The team is grimy. 2016,
really?
Eagles started off 3-0. Oh, my God, 3-0. It's about to be a Super Bowl run, baby. Ended 7-9. Didn't make the playoffs. So the Eagles are actually used to coming from behind. Oh, I left out one year. I brought up 16. I brought up 18. I brought up 19. What the heck happened in 17? Somebody remind me. Oh, 2017. The Eagles win the Super Bowl, even though they lost Carson Wentz, MVP frontrunner.
Oh, you think that matters in this conversation?
Lost Hall of Famer Jason Peters. Lost future Hall of Famer, more than likely, Darren Sproles. Lost starting linebacker Jordan Hicks. You lost. The Eagles are used to struggling. That's why they're not worried about it. That's why they're supporting Carson Wentz. Because in all honesty, the Eagles have been here before. They're like, oh, this again? Bet. We're better as underdogs anyway.
Oh,
We're better struggling anyway. It seems facetious.
It does.
But statistically, it's actually true. Let me give you one more anecdotal on my first lap.
You need a lot more than this.
One more anecdotal on my first lap. 2013, I was in Philly. I didn't play in the NFL for a long time, but I played for a good time. 2013, I was in Philly. We started off 3-5. God. Won 8 in a row. Made the playoffs, 10-6. Brandon Graham was still there.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox, the man who you heard, was still there. Lane Johnson, Jason Peters, the nucleus of that team was still there. They're used to this. They've seen this before. Regardless of how much the Eagles have struggled with, last 4 years, the Eagles, the Seahawks, and the Saints, the only NFC teams to make the playoffs 3 times. They're used to this, sir.
They're used to this?
They're used to it. Ain't nothing.
Boy, they used to seeing Fletcher Cox look like T.O. That's my quarterback. There ain't no damn used to this. And you try to go, I don't even want to do my take. I want to do anti-Acho take, but I'm not going to do that. I know there's a we in how you spell Wentz, but we ain't talking about we as the Eagles. We talk about Wentz, damn it. And Carson Wentz, you have not been here before. The Eagles may have been here before, but we looking at you, Carson, like you the reason why we here. Let me talk about you. This year, 26th in the NFL in scoring. Oh, that's not the worst. It's close. But you know what is the worst? His passer rating. Worst in the NFL. Oh, you know what else is the worst? His yards production. You know what else is the per attempt? You know what else is the worst? His interceptions. Eagles winless 3 games, first time since 1999. Acho just lied to us and said that y'all been here before. Y'all ain't been here. Y'all been around here. Y'all been around the corner.
They've been in the hood. They've been on that block. They've been in the cul-de-sac.
Hey, I'm going to tell you one thing. You can go off Rosecrans if you want. Go to Acacia or something. It's a whole different animal. And it's right around here, but it's a different animal. Wentz is the first Eagles quarterback to open the season with 2 or more interceptions in 3 straight games. No one's been there before wearing the Eagles green, brother. Let me talk about last year, Carson Wentz, who started this season 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Who this year is 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and you keep trying to preach familiarity, and we're the Rocky story, and we know how to climb up the mountain from this. No, you do not. This is a Carson Wentz right now that has this franchise in a pickle. in a situation of, do we let this live? Do we let this metastasize? Or do we pull the plug shortly, briefly, and get this guy what I've been telling you? He needs a TV timeout. I keep telling you, I'm talking from my pain. I went to the top of the mountain and I came down with no brakes. I know what it looks like. I know what it smells like. I know when you get the support around you that they also give you the same side eye when the camera's off. Carson Wentz needs a timeout, brother.
What did you tell me when the Clippers were in the first round and PG was struggling? More than what did you tell me, what did Doc Rivers, although not a great example, since he got
neither
fired,
one is a great example right here.
When PG was struggling, when you're in a shooting slump, keep on shooting.
Keep on shooting.
Just keep on shooting.
This ain't a shot.
That's what it is. It's a pass. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and it should
keep on playing. Easier. Keep on playing through it. The Eagles are a half game back in the NFC.
What?
Why would you not support your quarterback? What you're saying is this. We're only a half game back. Let's jump ship.
No.
Ultimately speaking,
no.
You win the Super Bowl by buying a ticket to the playoffs. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Get a ticket to the playoffs. If the Eagles were, if we fast forward, if the Eagles were 10-2 but a half game back, that'd be the same thing as being 0-2-1 and a half game back. Regardless, they a half game back.
I love that. That is a good take. That part is a good take. We added up and we're still in it. The problem is we can't keep having this subtraction at quarterback and keep adding this up to be in it. When you play basketball, you can have a shooting percentage, high 60s, even low 70s field goal percentage. And talking about football, and that's how we go about it. Football, the same thing, but you're our quarterback. You should be making these shots. You should be making these pass attempts. Carson Wentz is in a situation where he is losing his way. He is this dangerously close to looking like he has the yips. And that's a baseball term, but it applies to everyone who plays sports. You lose your way.
And here's what I will say. The Eagles are all in on Wentz. You're not going to pull the plug.
Why?
Let him keep throwing these punches and either go out swinging, but at least let him go out swinging. Don't let him go out watching the freaking pitch come down the plate, Marcellus.
I keep telling you, you want to make this a first, week 1, it was a 1-game sample size. Week 2 was a 2-game. Now it's a 3-game sample size. And I keep telling you, Pro Football Focus had Carson Wentz in the second half of last season as their worst-rated quarterback. Carson Wentz is on the decline. He's under 500 the last 2 years. Okay, Acho, I don't know how many games it's going to take for you to pull the plug, but the franchise is stuck with him. I'll tell you why. You know why. The dead cap is at $77 million. They owe him too much money, so they're going to let everyone else burn, sacrifice 52 for just one deal.
Can you pull the plug when you don't have a pulse? If the Eagles were 0-3, Cowboys, the football team, and the Giants were 3-0, uh-oh. Beep, beep, beep. Right. Pull the plug. Yeah. Eagles have more than a pulse right now. Oh, yeah. That heartbeat is thumping. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. It's to a beat, really. Ba-boom. The beat is thumping. Don't pull the plug right now.
Because of Carson or in spite of Carson? You already know that answer.
But the answer is it's irrelevant. What? The answer is that it is irrelevant. Right now, Carson is your quarterback. You paid him $100 million.
Yeah.
In spite of, because of, it's irrelevant. To the same point, the Dallas Cowboys are 1-2. Despite Dak Prescott, in spite of Dak Prescott, regardless of Dak Prescott, with Dak Prescott, and between Dak, they're 1-2. It doesn't matter. The Eagles are 0-2-1. I don't care if it's despite, in spite, any spite. They're 0-2-1. It don't matter how you got there.
It doesn't matter. And they drafted in the second round Jalen Hurts. And it doesn't matter why they drafted him. And there's no time should they ever try and insert him to just give Carson Wentz a breather to recalibrate, to get back to who he is. It shouldn't matter.
If Jalen Hurts was like that, and the team knew, because the team would know more than us at this point. They see him every day. If he was like that, don't you think Doug Peterson, Fletcher Cox might have said something? Because when the Eagles had Nick Foles on the roster and Wentz was struggling, there were whispers. There were yells.
Oh, you don't think this already happened? It has happened already. There's been question marks of Carson Wentz's leadership all the time. And Fletcher Cox came out and said
Carson's our quarterback. Yeah. We're going to get it fixed. He's going to get it fixed, Doug Peterson on Wentz. No, you don't go there to Jalen Hurts. That's a knee-jerk reaction.
Look. I have been Fletcher Cox before. Highly paid, on a decline. 10.5 sacks 2 years ago. Last year, 3.5. This year, 1. You want to protect the money, guys, because you might be the next one. Like that. Don't make me have to go there now. Coming up, even Drew Brees has Father Time knocking on his door. Fletcher Cox, stop. We'll tell you if the future Hall of Famers should be on the hot seat. Next, Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Let's talk about Drew Brees. He's been called out this season for his lack of arm strength. Brees has thrown the ball 20-plus yards only 2 times this season. The future Hall of Famer struggles have prompted some to question if the 1-2 Saints should bench him for Taysom Hill or my guy, Jameis Winston. Shout out to LeVar Arrington for joining us now, but Marcellus, you up first. Should Drew Brees be on the hot seat?
No, he should not be on the hot seat. I mean, one, if y'all gonna put him on the hot seat, wait for him to have a bad game before y'all put him on the hot seat. This is not the week. I keep telling y'all the guy went out there, what was he? 29, 36, 288, and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Your guy, Taysom Hill, sitting over there fumbling the ball when he gets his opportunities with his overpaid backup self. $16.3 million to go in there and fumble away a game when it was a tie game. No, Drew Brees should not be on the hot seat. I keep telling you guys, Drew Brees this year and this offense is scoring more points than it did last year when they won 13 games. And I keep telling you that Drew Brees is looking at his defense give up 37 points in a loss and 34 points in a loss. And you might say, oh, what does that mean? What does that matter? Well, teams lose 91% of the time when they give up 34 points or more. So Drew Brees is doing more without all of his weapons. No Michael Thomas. We're slant God. He's injured right now. Emmanuel Sanders, just a uniform. Casper the Ghost out there, not being Emmanuel Sanders. And then Jared Cook gets hurt in his groin in this same game. Point being, stop trying to look at the guy who has the biggest name and put all the issues on him when he's not the problem.
We're not looking at the guy with the biggest name, Marcellus. What we're saying is this. Are you conducive to helping your team win? Every team is different. The Saints are giving up a lot of points right now. They are. You know who else is? I'll talk about more later. The Seahawks are as well. Saints have given up 94 points on the season. Seahawks have given up 87. Saints are 1-2. Seahawks are 3-0. So every game is different. We can't just sit here and say, oh, well, Drew Brees is still doing this or doing that. Here's the reason, though, that Drew Brees is on the hot seat. Let me get to the point.
Hot seat?
He has to be because you're paying a Taysom Hill $16 million. I didn't ask to pay him that much. You, Marcellus, didn't ask to pay him that much. But the Saints chose to pay Taysom Hill $16 million. So I need $16 million worth of production.
Stop fumbling then.
Kickoff, that's not kick return, that's not punt, that's not punt return. Here's the other problem, Marcellus.
What?
Say what you will about Jameis, and people have said so bad.
You're not about to do this.
I'm not.
Okay,
but here's what I am going to do. Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards last year.
Yeah.
God, duck and cover before they come at me.
What?
He threw for 5,000 yards last year. He's one of 8 quarterbacks in NFL history to do that. So while Jameis Winston, yes, he did throw a lot of interceptions, Sean Payton, if you're a Super Bowl champion head coach, an offensive guru, a quarterback whisperer, those are your roots. The offensive coordinating position, that's how you got to where you are. Don't you think you could do something with that? I'm going to steal from you, Marcellus, and say this.
Always stealing.
Maybe just see what somebody can do with a little bit more time. Remember Peyton Manning and the Broncos when they, by the way, won the Super Bowl? They just sat Peyton down for 9 games. Now, Peyton was struggling severely worse than Drew Brees, but the Broncos did win the Super Bowl by sitting down a future Hall of Famer in the latter half of his career. All I'm saying is he's on the hot seat. Doesn't mean he's off the seat yet. What? But he should be on the hot seat.
I'm going to steal from you, Acho. It's a cold world out there.
Ain't
there ain't
no
no
blankets.
So, yeah, he's been on the hot seat even before we got into the season. And I'll tell you why. Because Sean Payton's on the hot seat before we got into the season. Right? He's doing well. Sean Payton has done well as a coach, one of the all-time legends, one of the all-time greats. But he is stalling out in the moments that truly count for the New Orleans Saints team. So now you're looking at, well, where's that stalling coming from, and can I correct it? And the first place you have to look at is what is the play of your quarterback. That could only be the reason why you bring in a Jameis Winston to replace what you lost in losing Teddy Bridgewater.
Good point.
So there's an already obvious reason to say that Drew Brees came in on the hot seat. Is it a little warmer? Yes, it's heating up, but we don't have to say he's on the hot seat as if he's in the casket, it's closed, and it's going into the ground. That just means he has to play better. Keep in mind, they're second in the NFC South, only to a team that they beat in the first game of the year, which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I can't believe y'all, for real. Like, whew, okay.
Breathe, big dog. Breathe,
Come
big
on,
dog.
man.
And I don't know.
My nana used to do. My nana does that with her when that sugar acting up. You give her a peppermint.
Boy, I went to Drew Brees' wedding. Now I don't know what that was, 15 years ago, but I'm not leading with that bias. I'm leading with my facts over feelings, as you know. But damn it, I want to lean into my bias and ride a lot harder for Drew Brees, but let me just stay composed up here. I'm talking about the same Drew Brees who is 9th right now in quarterback rating. 9th. Only 8 guys are playing the position more efficiently and better than Drew Brees in the deep crunch of the numbers. But we know that Drew Brees is old. You know this for a fact, well, maybe not you, Acho. You know this for a fact, LeVar, because you felt this label. I know I felt it. When you turn 30, you remember when you turned 30? I saw a running back before in practice mess up. He's 29. Coach is like, oh, hey, you better pay attention, boy. You get your mind right. When you're 30 and you mess up, they like, oh, he losing his legs. It's over. It's behind him.
I retired. I wasn't in the league at 30.
Damn, none of y'all played long enough. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We are now experiencing ageism to the finest. To the point where now, in one block, we don't want to put Carson Wentz on the hot seat or get him out of there because of backups, Jalen Hurts. But on this block, let's go with the highly overpaid backup or Jameis Winston, who came on the cheap. Jameis Winston is on that team because he said, I will be on your team for $1 million. And they're like, well, we got that. But they did not
see part of that argument.
They did not seek Jameis Winston for that. So 9th in quarterback rating, bench him, hot seat him. The hell y'all talking about?
Matters. My argument for
his age.
My argument for Jameis and company, my argument for Carson and company is simply this. Eagles are half game back. The whole NFC least is terrible. My argument for the Bucs for this conversation is simply the Bucs are ascending. The Saints are descending. They are heading in 2 completely different directions. But here, let me do something too. Because
hold on.
No, I'm not going to hold on just yet.
Hey,
I'm not going to hold on just yet.
You just said that they are a game back, right? You know that Saints.
I said that.
The Saints are a game back.
But they are a game back.
Are a game back with the tiebreaker. So now make some sense out of this.
Make some sense. The sense is this. The Giants are terrible. Cowboys not great. Football team not great. Eagles are also all terrible. The Buccaneers are ascending. The Saints are descending. That is the sense. But let me get to my point. Stop telling me about these different, Drew Brees' completion percentage is so high. Drew Brees doesn't throw the ball, and he throws the ball from me to you.
I didn't say
I can't even go to the gym. So they can see the difference between me. Drew Brees throws the ball of the limitations of social distancing. And he throws the ball.
Now that's a bar.
That is what he does. So
he's always done that,
Of course, Drew Brees is going to have a high completion percentage. Marcel,
I didn't say completion percentage. I said quarterback rating.
Say whatever you will. Of course, it's going to be inflated because Drew Brees is not taking very many risks.
It's always been that. If that's the case now, it's always been the case. You found out, like everybody else, this new stat, air yards, where from the ball travels from the line of scrimmage down the field. And all of a sudden, Drew Brees was dead last in air yards this year. He was 4th to last year. The year before it, he was 2nd to last. And nobody was talking about it when they were winning 13 games. So how is he now on the high seat?
But people
in that same position before.
Can I just say this? What Acho is saying has some validity to it. The point is that people are panicking based upon what they think the projection of this team is going to be. So that loss to the Raiders, it made people nervous, right? It's like, oh, that's a team you should have beat. Now, we don't really know how good this Raiders team is. And so it's hard to make a judgment, a determination on where Drew Brees is in this Saints team. So now we're looking at this and we're saying that seat could get scorching hot if you lose to a team like the Detroit Lions. And I think that's what sets up the conversation of what's going on right now. We can look at his rating being 9th and quarterback rating. We can look at a lot of the things that Drew Brees has done well. But as it stands right now, it's a 2-team race in that NFC South. The Falcons are, I don't know if they're going to fall off the cliff or try to find themselves. Don't know. Carolina is a team that's trying to figure out what their identity is going to be. And the other team that is continuing to look like they're improving, the Saints beat them. But if you can only beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you can't win games like this Detroit Lion game, it still puts you in the conversation of, is this team better off if they go into a different direction, knowing that they could possibly be better with somebody else under center?
All that happened is this, Marcellus. After the Raiders lost, We turned it up to 350.
One loss.
After the Raiders lost.
One loss.
We turned it up to, we turned it up to 350.
Why are you in the kitchen after one loss?
We preheated it.
Why?
We preheated the oven. Now,
because it was already on before the season started.
Because he ages him.
We can come back and hit cancel, and we can turn it off. But right now, it's preheating. You just better not hear it go. Because when you hear that, that means it is done. That means it is hot. That means it is over and done.
The expectation is to win a Super Bowl, and you guys know that. For the Saints, they've raised the standard and the bar so high that the expectation is to win a Super Bowl.
I love you.
So if they're not trending that way, then you gotta judge them based off of that.
They've won one Super Bowl since Drew Brees has been there, and that's 2006. It's 2020.
But that's a lot of pressure.
Watch what you want and watch what you're out there saying, because it has to map onto reality. So stop with these absurd expectations. They want to be contenders, as they always are, and that's what they always will be. They beat the Bucs week 1 by 11. Then this same trending Bucs team Acho was talking about, which I agree with, but that same team that you already beat goes out there and beats the Panthers and the Broncos. And you keep telling me I got to be scared of a team that I beat who hasn't beat anybody else, and now I got to be scared of them? Woo! Wow. Woosah right now. Y'all need to chill on this one right now.
No, I agree with you on that point.
In our big story, now we really going to get hot, because we got to talk Dak Prescott, who's throwing for a lot of yards, but Dallas's defense isn't doing their part. We'll tell you if Dak is good enough to carry the Cowboys. Next, Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Lee? Watch it. Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley, Emmanuel Acho loosened up the suit. He said haymakers are coming in this one, huh?
Round. Let me loosen up the can.
Well, let me loosen up my back so I can dunk. All right, it's time for our big story, sponsored by Jimmy Dean, because today's your day to shine on. Let's move on to Dak Prescott, whose Cowboys are sitting at 1-2 to start the season. Dak leads the league in passing yards. Did I say that? And has thrown for over 900 yards the last 2 games. But a lot of those yards are to make up for Dallas's bad defense. Cowboys defense is giving up over 32 points per game, which is 3rd worst in the NFL. Yuck. Acho, is Dak good enough to carry the Cowboys?
Dak Prescott is good.
Oh, God, I know where you go.
Comma. Not enough to carry the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is good. Not enough.
No one uses semicolon, huh? When do you want to use it?
No, man, he's not. But again, not an indictment on Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is a very good quarterback. You have to say this, Marcellus, because I'm from Dallas. You got to get out the pleasantries. It's when you see somebody and you go, oh, my gosh, it's so good to see you. We get down to business. Dak Prescott's good. He's not good enough to carry the Cowboys. Here's why I say that. Dak Prescott, Marcellus, he's 2-8 in one-score games since the start of last season. 2-8. Only quarterbacks worse than Dak Prescott. One Joe Flacco. Yep. One Andy Dalton, one Phillip Rivers, who's 2-10. Marcellus, this is an indication of how much you can carry your team. Here's what I mean by that. Russell Wilson, 12-2 in one-score games. Unless you all think that it is sheer coincidence, just happenstance, that Russell Wilson happens to fall on the right side of one-score games and Dak Prescott happens to fall on the wrong side of one-score games, then maybe you have to look at, maybe Dak Prescott isn't good enough to carry his team. Now, it's not Dak Prescott's fault his defense is giving up 30 yards a game. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, Dak Prescott, this is the hand that you've now been dealt. It's the hand you're dealt. You're dealt a hand with deficiencies on defense. You're dealt a hand with injuries on the offensive line. This is the hand you've been dealt. What are you going to do with it? Here's the other thing, though. The Seahawks are worse than the NFL defensively in yards given up. Hello. Uh-oh, y'all don't tell nobody, because that might ruin your narrative, Marcellus.
No,
the Seahawks are worse than the NFL in yards given up. Cowboys have given up 97 points. Seahawks have given up 86. Uh-oh. That might ruin your narrative. But the Seahawks are 3-0. Cowboys are 1-2. Both teams have issues. Every team has issues. Dak Prescott is good. This is not an indictment on Dak Prescott. But all I'm saying is very simply this. Aaron Rodgers, one-score games, top tier. Lamar Jackson, one-score games, top flight. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes doesn't play many one-score games, but he's also elite. And then Russell Wilson, the most elite in one-score games. Dak Prescott in one-score games is not. If you think it's sheer chance, so be it. But good luck arguing with me on sheer chance.
Oh, I won't argue you on sheer chance, sheer chance. I dare you. Forget those pleasantries, as you say. You know what's another pleasantry? When someone says, hi, and if there's an E in their hi, hi. Hey, I already know you fake. Get out my face, you housewife and all them people on them shows. All right, here we go. My thing is, Dak Prescott is good enough to carry the Cowboys. And let me tell you why. I'm not going to have a comma, a semicolon, anything about that. I understand the issues around Dak Prescott, but I want to hide behind the mantra of perfect is the enemy of good. And what you have done is made an argument constructed off of perfect situations.
Not at all.
And they're perfect because their records are. Not the individuals, but the collective the collective response to all of their issues is we got a perfect record. So you use a lot of Russell Wilson in their perfect record and a lot of their situation. And then you want to use that against Dak Prescott. But let me tell you what's not perfect with Dak Prescott and why he still is responding in the way he has, especially the last 2 weeks. So we look at Dak Prescott, who last year had a defense, even though it was highly touted, was still not a top 10 defense in terms of points allowed. But Dak is like, all right, whatever. I'm going to go out there and do what I do, which is be first in offense. And that's what they were. And that didn't get them far. It got them to 8-8. And then this year, Dak is like, all right, defense, y'all gonna shore it up, right? Okay, O-line, y'all gonna be healthy, y'all gonna be ready, right? Zeke, you got paid last year, like, it's time, let's start fast. And they go out there and go from 11th to 30th. And then Dak is like, okay, I'm still gonna be first in offense, that's what he is, but what the hell are y'all doing on defense? Okay, that's gonna be a problem. But then he's like, okay, I need balance in this offense. Zeke, it's me and you, man. We're supposed to do this together. It's supposed to be like, you know, Aikman and Emmett. We're supposed to do this. And Zeke has been on the decline, not only just in year to year, but game to game. 96, 89, 35, 34 yards. If Dak Prescott had the audacity to give you whatever a 34-yard game looks like at the quarterback position, you would lose your mind. But is Dak good enough to make all this work? You know why he is? Because they're still first in the division. Oh, my God. I look at all the stats, and I keep seeing this number one. And it's not just because they have the number one offense. It's because they're still first in this division. And you know, all you need is a chance in the dance. And if they get themselves in the playoffs, and Zeke just plays like Zeke, and the defense just comes back, just be adequate, and the offensive line gets healthy, Dak's going to carry him all the way.
Marcellus, kudos. You're still up to semantics and some antics. Kudos to you. Yes, we should have specified. Is Dak good enough to carry the Cowboys where?
Thank you.
Is he good enough to carry the Cowboys to 8-8 and win the division? Yes. Is he good enough to carry the Cowboys deep into
the playoffs? It worked for Eli Manning.
No.
It worked for Eli Manning, 9-7, Super Bowl.
Two-time Super Bowl MVP right now.
Well, I got to do something.
Please don't do that.
9-7.
Here's my issue, Marcellus.
Yes, sir.
The Cowboys are robbing Peter to pay Paul. And the problem is, Cowboys fans are Peter and Dak is Paul. See, the Cowboys are robbing the entirety of winning for, these Dak Prescott glorified stats. I told you this earlier in the show, but for those that weren't tuning in, the top 5 passers last year didn't make the playoffs. If Dak is a top 5 passer, Cowboys fans, there's a good chance y'all will not make the playoffs. Don't rob Peter to pay Paul. Do not pay Dak Prescott's statistics and rob the Cowboys of their wins. Again, I'm not saying Dak Prescott is the reason the Cowboys are losing. That would be asinine, ridiculous, ludicrous. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Dak Prescott is not doing enough for the Cowboys to win. It's very simple, Marcellus. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, top 3 quarterbacks to me in the league right now. If Aaron Rodgers were the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, they would have beat the Rams.
I hate when you do this.
I'm sorry, but I got to do it.
My worst
if Russell Wilson,
working with you.
If you switched quarterbacks and Russell Wilson was quarterback for the Cowboys would have beat the Seahawks. 1-score games decide your fate in the NFL. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, the 2 best quarterbacks in 1-score games. It's not a coin flip. NFL fans, contrary to common belief, it's not a coin flip. 53% of games decided by 1 point or less, one score or less. It's not a coin flip. Dak Prescott is good. not good enough to carry the Cowboys despite of their deficiencies.
So you're using that stat, once again, your regurgitation of the top 5 passers last year didn't make the playoffs, right? And I told you the year before there were 4 damn good quarterbacks in the Final 4, but that's a...
I didn't say good quarterback. I said top 5 passing stats.
And that's why I said, but that's not what Acho's talking about. So let me say what Acho's talking about. This year, of the top 5 quarterbacks, 3 of them are damn good, according to Acho. I just heard him. Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, and Patrick Mahomes. I wonder if they're going to make the playoffs. I wonder. And then on top of that, Acho, why you shouldn't use that as your stats or as your framing of stats, you got to look at the other 2 quarterbacks in that situation that make your point. But Dak is one of them. And Dak is in first place. So there's 3 quarterbacks we know are damn good. And there was in first place, but you continuously want to talk about what happened last year. This is a passing league. This is a league where you do need balance, and right now Dak has no balance because he's 83% of his offense, in part because of offensive line issues, in part because the compromised defense puts the offense in too many situations, in part because Ezekiel is declining every single week, whether it's play calling or just in production. Ezekiel Elliott is slipping in the end zone, giving up safeties, and that's who Dak is working with right now. Just be real in reality.
You played on a defensive line.
Yeah.
If a team abandoned a run after 13 carries, you happy or are you sad? As a defensive lineman.
I'm actually torn.
Why?
If a team abandons the run, they pass happy. I know I'm going to be tired, but that's how I get my money. Go and get that quarterback. But I don't like a team pounding me. Right. I hate a team that methodically goes down the field because it just takes my soul. Run blocking versus us playing run defense. Oh, it is a war of attrition. Pass rushing, I get fatigued, but that's where the pay dirt is. That's where the pot of gold is.
Here's the reason. I don't want to get lost in that, but I tell you that because Zeke didn't have a great game, but he also only rushed the ball 14 times. Again, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Yeah. I'm happy Dak Prescott is balling. But if you go to the leader in passing last year, didn't make the playoffs. Leader in passing 2 years ago, didn't make the playoffs. I'm not talking about 2, 3, or 4. I'm talking about Ben Roethlisberger, led the NFL in passing 2018, didn't make the playoffs. So there is a direct correlation in it.
It is a balance.
So
give me something, Zeke.
You got to give Zeke something to give you something.
Oh, no,
Zeke did not play well. The offensive line's woes are bad. But as a defender, which you are, as a defender, which I was, I understand. Yo, if y'all stop running after 14 carries, I'm like, oh, thank God. They done with the run game already? Woo, I'm safe. Because, Marcellus, you never know when you break one. The 15 carry could have been a 60-yarder to the crib. So we're sitting here condemning Zeke, but you never know when you're going to turn it around. Remember, Dak Prescott early on against the Falcons was not good.
No.
Finished up with 450 yards, 4 total touchdowns.
The turnovers were there.
But let's remember, Dak Prescott, if they would have abandoned the pass game after Dak Prescott threw the interception, I think he fumbled the ball as well. I think Dalton Schultz fumbled the ball. If you would have abandoned, Dak Prescott, you suck. We're done with you. Just hand it off to Zeke. We would have been like, man, Dak sucked this whole game. But they gave him a chance. The Cowboys are robbing themselves opportunities, and Dak is balling. Great, Dak ball. But just know, Dak, if you ball, the Cowboys might not.
My only pushback is because Dak is in a contract negotiation, he's always going to be front page news. And when you talk about the Cowboys always front page news. And then he's the top line of that front page news because he's in a negotiation with Jerry Jones. It's giving cover to a lot of other guys, a lot of other issues, people who are not living up to the name on the back of their jersey. I am highlighting Ezekiel Elliott. He can say his touches. I'm saying you got enough touches to be Ezekiel Elliott. You one of the highest paid running backs in the game. It shouldn't take 20 carries, brother. 14 should be more than enough. And if they don't get a balanced attack, it's going to be tough on Dak, but Dak still can carry them to the playoffs. Coming up, Cam Newton's Patriots face the champs Sunday. We'll tell you if they have a chance against Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs. Next, speak for yourself.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's talk about a huge matchup on Sunday when Cam Newton's Patriots visit the undefeated Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is coming off a dominant 5-touchdown performance against the Ravens. But in New England, Cam has been a welcome addition for the 2-1 Patriots. But Bill Belichick knows his team will have a huge test. Take a listen.
They're a very explosive group. Played the Ravens well defensively. They're a good football team, very talented, well coached. Play with a lot of poise and discipline. We know we're going to have our work cut out for us in Kansas City. It's a championship football team, and, we're going to have to play our best game and coach it.
LeVar's back with us, but Marcellus, you
Wake
up
Bill.
first.
Wake up, Bill.
You giving the Patriots any chance against the Chiefs?
Yes, I'm giving them a chance if they could do something that the Dallas Cowboys can't do, which is run the football. If you run the football against them, that gives the Patriots the best chance. Let's talk about the Patriots last week that ran the football against the Raiders. 250 yards last week. Going back in their contest against the Chiefs, the 2 wins that they had against the Chiefs, 2018, 170 yards in average in those 2 wins. Last year, they played the Chiefs under 100 yards in the rushing attack, and they lost that game. So when you're going against the Patriots, you know one thing for sure. They're going to be prepared. As my guy, Mr. Bill Lenzoni used to say, 6 Ps. Proper preparation prevents piss-poor performance. And guess what? You know when you play against the Patriots, they are going to be fully prepared. And they know how to attack your weakness. They saw the Raiders, 25th ranked against the run, and they attacked them on the ground. Now they see the Kansas City Chiefs coming in, and forget the rankings. They know that their formula for success is, 1, being surprising. The element of surprise. What's Cam Newton going to do? How is he going to be involved in the passing and running game? But more importantly, stay on the ground, because that's been our weapon of choice to beat the Chiefs.
Proper preparation prevents
piss-poor performance.
That's cute, no? I mean, Peter Piper picked a peck of pit bull peppers, but what that got to do with what we're talking about right now, Marcelo?
What you talking about,
I don't care about
Peter
proper preparation.
Did you mess that up?
He was picking peppers.
He was picking up peppers.
And with Rod Rhymes.
He was picking them.
Look, Marcelo,
this is a hot take.
You have to give them a chance because of Bill Belichick. But here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say a lot. I'm just going to make it make sense and make it meaningful. It's very simple. Patrick Mahomes, 24-1 when his defense allows 28 points or less. What that means is, Cam Newton, you got to score 28, 29 points just to get in the door. You got to get yourself 4, really 5 touchdowns just to give yourself a shot at beating Patrick Mahomes. The reason I say Cam Newton is because he's accounted for 6 touchdowns of the Patriots. Next closest guy is accounted for 2. So realistically, Cam Newton, it's on your back. Is your shoulders broad enough? Here's what it comes down to. Cam has accounted for 5 touchdown passes, 5 touchdowns total, running or passing in one game, 3 times in his career, all in 2015. So it's really simple. Can Cam Newton put the team on his back and score 29+ points? Because if you don't do that, you don't even have a fighter's chance at beating these Chiefs. Bill Belichick, he's a GOAT, brilliant offensive mind. Andy Reid has showed us he's also a GOAT. Bill Belichick, defensive mind. Andy Reid, offensive genius. The Chiefs, you got Kelsey. You have the plethora of receivers. What it comes down to is Bill Belichick's Patriots, they just don't have enough firepower. They just don't have enough weapons. Bill Belichick is a genius, but he doesn't step in between the 53 and the 3rd white lines. So ultimately, yes, you give him a chance because of Coach Belichick. But Cam, you just got to realize this. If you want to win the lotto, you got to buy a ticket. If you want to beat the Chiefs, you got to score at least 29 points. It's good luck.
You know, I give them a chance because that's what Sundays and Saturdays and Fridays are for. You suit up and you go out there and you got to see who's going to go and want it more. You sometimes there are just certain things that you can't measure and you can't weigh. This is a repeat of this last game that Chiefs just played. They're playing the same type of personality, the same type of personnel as the Ravens in this Patriots team. You got a running quarterback, dual threat quarterback. You have a running attack with dual running backs in the backfield, more than one guy. They can throw the ball into the seams of intermediate passes with what they're doing. I look at this game and I really think that this is that opportunity. Cam was knocking on the door to say, look, pay attention to Cam. The Super Cam, Wakanda Forever Cam is here. And he missed it by 1 yard. And I don't think that was on him. I don't think that they messed this opportunity up, guys. They may not win the game, but I think they will come out and they will show people a blueprint that has not been exposed yet by any team. And I really do believe that they will come with a game plan that works in their favor.
I always wondered, LeVar, what do coaches say when you know you're about to lose? And you just gave me an insight into it.
That's
we're not going to win the game, but we're going to show
Emmanuel, that's what I said.
You heard that? No, I didn't hear that. I heard Acho actually give the Patriots more ammunition to win this game. He said, you got to score at least 29 to win the lotto if you're Cam Newton. Well, all I see is a team that scored 30 2 weeks ago and scored 36 last week. So not only are they going to buy a ticket, they're going to have multiple tickets to punch against this team. So, Acho.
It's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game. You're going to see this one. Wakanda, Super Cam is on the bill. Coming up, you've heard of Keep It 100? Well, when coaches and athletes can't be totally honest, they actually keep it 99. We got to explain that next. Speak for yourself. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Time to keep it 99. When coaches and athletes can't keep it 100, they'll give you an answer that isn't totally honest or truthful. You listen to the sound bites, and we'll translate.
All right, we got to get started with this one. Wait till y'all hear head coach for the Bears, Matt Nagy. He was asked who was going to be a starting quarterback after Nick Foles led them to a comeback win on Sunday. Y'all listen to this.
We'll talk through where we're at, what we think is the best decision moving forward. We're not there right now, but I think that there's something here that we just got to discuss.
We know he had to keep it 99.
Yeah.
But if he was keeping it 100, he would have said, now, when I say we have to discuss, I mean me, myself, and I. Because I'm making this decision independently by myself. I didn't even want to start Mitch Trubisky this year, but I had to because Ryan Pace, our general manager, said, hey, save my job and start Mitch and yank him. I kind of feel bad for Mitch, but at the end of the day, it's a dog-eat-dog world. In fact, it's a cold world, and there ain't no blankets. But you know what, Mitch? I like you a little bit, so I'm going to throw you a blanket. Sorry.
Real right there. All right, here's Giants head coach Joe Judge on the team's outlook after their 0-3 start to the season.
There's 13 games left. It's the NFL.
Really?
There's a lot of ball left to be played. I'll tell you right now, look, I've been on a lot of teams that have started off 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 10-0, and I'm telling you right now, it's the same feeling in every building across the league right now.
Oh, it is, huh? Oh, man, I remember listening to Young Jeezy when he said, that ain't this and this ain't that. So we know he had to keep it 99. If he were keeping it 100, he would have said, Bill, help. Belichick, what the hell? Tom Brady, why didn't you pick the Giants in free agency? He looking at this team without Saquon Barkley and is like, yo, we are bum work right now. And I'm trying to create a culture, but, hey, every jockey needs a horse. And he ain't got much horses out there. He's trying not to defeat them, even though he knows this team is already defeated.
Yo, they was out there lying, Marcellus, but it gets worse. Not from a coach this time. How about a player? Sam Darnold, quarterback for the Jets, when he was asked about his head coach Adam Gase's job security after their third straight blowout loss.
For us, he's been putting in, I truly believe this, and the guys in the locker room feel the same way. We've been put in great positions to go out there and succeed and, go out there, make plays, and execute a game plan that's put together perfectly for us.
Honestly, I'm mad y'all up here asking me this question. We know Sam Darnold had to keep it 99.
Look how you looked at
but if he were keeping it 100, he would have said,
Who formatted?
Why y'all got me up here lying for Adam Gase? Look, Adam Gase about to make me next. If I blink twice, y'all come help me. Because Adam Gase made Tannehill look bad. Kenyon Drake look bad. He made Le'Veon Bell look bad. And now he making me look bad. We got the worst offense in the league. We only average 12 points per game. Worst in the league. And now I'm the quarterback. And y'all questioning if I'm good. I was a first-round pick. Yeah. Adam Gase is the one who's sorry. That's what Darnold would have said.
Yeah, was he a franchise quarterback? He looked like a Fortnite player, all down, duck down in there. All right, let's go player to player. Finally, here's Cam Newton on what it's like playing for the Patriots.
There's an aura that you get when you play as a member of the New England Patriots, and that aura can sometimes be like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just the Patriot way to a degree from the outside looking in, but from the inside looking out, man, these guys are really, they really enjoy the process as well as myself. And me being a member, I'm just lucky to be here. And, anytime I can, lighten the mood in some way, shape, form, I hesitate not.
I heard you over there, Acho.
Get out.
We know we had to keep it 99. He did. If he were keeping it 100, he would have said, oh, the joke's on y'all. Y'all really buying into this Patriot way BS? Banana in the tailpipe. Ain't no... Joke's on everybody. Ain't no Patriot way. Like on the outside, you be thinking, oh, you gonna walk in here and the gate's gonna slam on you. You gotta do nothing but prepare. And he's like, yo, we out here living. Y'all see this hat? Y'all see this fit? Y'all see how I'm living? You see how I'm dancing with Belichick? You see how Belichick, my bestie? That's my dog right there. But he has to sell it and say it in the Patriot way. But look at him. Ain't no damn way that the Patriot way is real. All right, that would do it for Keep It 99. And coming up, LeBron's Lakers are the favorites in the finals, but we'll tell you if the Heat will actually be a tough matchup next. Speak faces. You lying.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's move on to the NBA Finals, where the Lakers come into the game one tonight as a favorite over the Heat. Despite that, Jimmy Butler said, quote, I just don't think that we're underdogs, close quote. While Anthony Davis says winning a title in the bubble is, quote, going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one. We're joined by NBA analyst Jim Jackson, my dog. But Marcellus, are the Heat a tough challenge, a tough matchup for the Lakers?
Hell yeah, they're a tough matchup. I mean, this is going to be a good fight. You're talking about the dog in them, and Jimmy Butler obviously leads that in terms of his mentality and how that translates on the court and the chemistry that they have. I like this team because they're a 3-and-D team. We've all heard that cliche about some teams. Can you shoot the three and can you defend? Yes and yes. And they also have a team of players that fit the new NBA in terms of wing protectors and wing players, you know, in that 6'5" to 6'8" range that can switch off or stay on you. And it's like almost the Lakers are sitting there like, who is our big three? We know we got AD, we know we got LeBron. It was supposed to be Kuzma. It turned into Rondo, and then it turned into KCP, and it just turned into a bunch of guys in this carousel. Well, it looks like the Heat were able to just say, we're going to make gremlins of Kyle Kuzma what he's supposed to be in terms of what their production is. So I want to give you guys full screen king. Look at this production, which is the only third time in any playoff series in history that four players have averaged 19 points or more. So they are coming in all directions, shooting the ball and having the ability to defend. So the Lakers, if they sleep on these boys, they might get knocked out.
Yeah, it'll be a tough fight, Marcellus, or an entertaining fight if you consider second-round knockouts entertaining, because the Lakers knocking them points out in their worst 5 or 6. Here's what it is, Marcellus. Remember Jimmy Butler, game 1 against the Bucks? He had 40 points. It was like, oh, my God, Jimmy Butler. Tyler Hero dropped 37. Oh, my God, Tyler Hero. LeBron, game 5 against the Nuggets, dropped 38, 16, and 13, and I think it was just another Saturday. He was like, hey, what are y'all having for dinner?
Oh, okay, no. It was on my king.
Okay, you want to have the Brussels sprouts, please? We don't care. When LeBron does what they do, it's historic. When LeBron does it, it's just another walk in the park, Marcellus. Keep it real. The Heat, yes, they're scrappy. The Heat, they got them goons. Congratulations. I'm glad you got them goons. It's going to take more than that. The Heat have a great team, have a great coach, have an underdog mindset. But at the end of the day, it's small things to a giant. And LeBron James, AD, they're the giant. But really, let's talk a little statistics before I'm done with this first lap. It's very simple. LeBron is 26-2 when he wins game 1s. In playoff series, 26-2 all time. 23-0 when winning game 1 and game 2. What it means is this. If the Heat don't win tonight, they have no chance. If the Heat don't win the first 2 games, they literally, it's not even like, so you're saying there's a chance. No, I'm saying there's no chance. 2. Absolutely no chance.
You said 2.
If they
could be 3.
No.
You said 2.
The other fact is very simple. LeBron ain't lost a game 7 since 08. So you have to win 7. So you have to win in 6 if you're the Heat. So you think the Heat finna beat them 4 times in 6 games?
You making these arguments, not me.
Talk crazy. Talk regular to me.
Get him, Jimmy.
Hey, man, listen, man. The 2 of you need counseling, marriage counseling, because I've been watching you all day going back and forth. And you 2 are comedy. But listen, you both got a point, though. Here's the thing. The challenge for this Laker team against the Heat team is that you could identify against Portland, Lillard, and McCollum, okay? That's what we need to shut down. When you're playing against a Houston team as Westbrook and Hart. And also when you're talking about Denver, okay, Jokic and also Murray. But with the Heat, you saw the numbers in the Boston series. That's 4 players above 19 points, okay? Jimmy Butler against the Celtics in their 4 wins didn't lead them in scoring. So it's not like you're trying to cut the head off of one guy. Yeah, you probably want to take some things away from Jimmy. But the thing about that makes this Heat team so tough to guard, not only do you have shooters and multiple guys that can put it in the hoop, but their baskets to assist are extremely high, which means they move extremely well. LA has problems a lot of times keeping guys in front of them, okay? Yep. LA has issues at times when they have a big lead, they give it up. Now, am I saying LA is going to lose a series? No, I'm not. Is the challenge going to be there? Yes, because one, Miami doesn't turn the basketball over. Two, Miami shoots about 82, 83% from the free throw line. So they make you pay another way. This is going to be a totally different kind of series than probably what we probably wanted to see with maybe a Milwaukee who has a star player. But this Miami team is going to pose a different kind of threat. Bam. Hey, what happens if he gets AD in foul trouble by having to guard him off that pick and pop? You know, that's a whole different dynamic.
Come on.
I still think LA gets
Jim
this
J.
game.
Hey, let's keep it real, bro.
He leaned back on you, Jimmy. Here you go.
I gave you reasons why it's going to be a challenge.
Here's my thing, bro. You came in here with the whole dissertation. Honestly, you can submit this and get a doctorate for why he got to give you a chance. All I got to give you is two names, LeBron and AD. They have no chance. LeBron and AD combined for 60. They're what, 15 or 16 and 1?
Challenge. Are they going to be a challenge? Not that with
tough matchup.
Okay.
Well, see how Joe stop trying to make it
fix Marcellus. Define a tough matchup. Is a 4-0 sweep tough? Like, is a 4-0? Is a 4-1?
Oh, you going on record saying this is 4-0?
No, I'm saying.
Well, then why you bringing it up, Mister? I don't like ifs.
Ocho, you saying it's 4-0?
4-1. Y'all chill out.
I can't go there either. I can go 4-2. I like what you said, 4-2, I would say Lakers should win, which is interesting because just in PER, one advanced stat. A lot of people love it, some people don't. Whatever. You know who the top 3 PERs in NBA history are? This is why the Lakers should be like, yo, we about to smoke them.
Jimmy Butler?
Nope.
Udonis Haslam?
See how
Andre Iguodala?
You know what? We do need counseling, and I don't need to go. He need to go by his damn self because he is so negative and defensive. Actually, it's
Tyler Hero.
It's Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. What the hell? So thank you. See, he's so defensive, man. I get this at home, and I come to work and get this. It's the same response.
So did you guys watch the debate last night?
Oh yeah. Huh?
Okay, there was something in there. We got to let each other talk and get their points across. Right now, I have to be the moderator between y'all two to let each other get some
Chris
points.
Wallace?
Take it away from everything.
There you go.
Go ahead, Marcellus.
All I'm saying is the Lakers should win this series. But the problem is the point of attack. As Jimmy said, there are just so many coming at you, and you can't just devote all your resources in one direction like they have been able to so far in the playoffs. And I'm going to say that the Heat are well coached, if not better coached. I'm going to say that they have better depth because they're going to put the Lakers in lineups where, hey, your 7-footers, we might be back to when you played against Houston in that series where the 7-footers might have to sit down for a time or two. So this is a matchup situation, not necessarily talent to talent, but how are you going to orchestrate what you have? And the Heat have more guys that can fill up the stat sheet and put it in a bucket than just the dynamic duo of LeBron and AD.
It's not just about quantity, gentlemen. It is about quality. You all are giving me quantity, and I will simply give you quality. LeBron and AD, they combined for 55-plus points the last 4 games. When they combine for over 55, the record is 27-5.
5? Okay,
27-5.
5? Oh, okay.
It's very simple, Marcellus.
They got a chance.
It's a Tesla to a skateboard. It's a Bentley to a RAV4. It's hiccups to stage 4. It's not a conversation, and it's not a competition. Lakers in 5. It's not going to be tough. Coming up, Uncle Jimmy will give us his thoughts on the Day Show. Uh-oh. I'm nervous to hear this one. That's next. Speak for yourself.
You just kept it 99. Before we go, let's bring in Uncle Jimmy. So, Nostradamus, what are your thoughts on today's show?
Look here. Acho.
What's up, Aunt?
Everything that happened to you today is your fault.
What happened, Aunt?
You brought it on yourself. You know good and well if you leave the house wearing your Easter suit, kids is going to pick on you and you're going to end up having a fight.
I get it.
Now, granted, you know you got to fight Wiley every day. But what you wasn't counting on today was Rick Bucher jumping out of nowhere, talking about, bing, I knocked his brains out over his non-Ivy League suit. Rick Bucher came out of nowhere and busted you in the head and told you it was your fault. That's what you get for comparing LeBron James to Michael Jordan. What did he tell you? He said that was a lot like Marcellus Wiley's career. It was hard to watch and it defied logic. And I agree with you. Because you also said it was about the chips, but then you also said that we don't want to count Bill Russell.
Ooh.
You also said that if you got a speeding ticket, that you would pay for it. No, you wouldn't. You'd pay somebody to take care of it, like LeBron James. He got AD, he got Kyrie Irving, he got Dwayne Wade. That's what all of you little millennials do. You don't carry your weight.
There you go. And I'm stuck with Acho.